Good morning and welcome to Science Review with Mr. Blades. Today we'll be covering the difference between vectors and scalars. Now we probably started to cover this in class today, so let's go ahead and review what we've learned. Now, a vector and a scalar. Those are two different names for things that we use in physics, but while they are similar, they are fundamentally different. So, a vector has size. We also call this a magnitude. Now, some examples of magnitude would be 6 feet tall, 90 degrees, and so on. Now, a scalar also has size, or again, magnitude, but the key difference between these two things is that a vector has a direction. Okay? Now, a direction, very commonly understood as the direction in which something is going. So we'll say up, to the left, east, west, and so on. Now, a scalar does not have any direction at all, and therefore only has magnitude. I would say that I am 6 feet tall, not that I am 6 feet up, and so on. And now let's go ahead and give some examples of vectors and scalars. Now, if we wanted to measure distance, that is to say how far something has traveled, that would be a scalar. Distance marked with a lowercase letter d. Now, we would say that Austin was 150 miles away, or that I traveled 10 miles today, and so on. But those two things don't actually tell you where you've gone or how, which direction you're headed in. Now, a vector would call that a position marked by the lowercase letter x. Now, position has the direction in it. Now, if I chose my door, the door to my classroom, as my origin point, I would then say that I am positioned 10 meters from my door. Now, in addition to having a direction, a vector implies some sort of origin point that is being referenced during this. Now, that is our difference between position and distance. Now let's cover velocity and speed. Now, speed, just measured with a lowercase letter s, indicates how fast your distance is changing. If I'm traveling 1 mile per hour, that means that I will cover 1 mile of distance for every hour that I travel. Now, that doesn't actually tell me which direction I am headed in. It only tells me that I am moving. Now, velocity, with a lowercase letter v, has the direction in it. I would be saying I'm traveling 1 mile per hour north, or 1 mile per hour towards Austin. Now, that direction can take many forms: north, south, east, west, up, down, towards this, away from that, whatever. But it has a direction. And lastly, acceleration, with a lowercase letter a. Now, this is a little bit unfortunate because they both have the same name. Acceleration as a vector and acceleration as a scalar. So, even though they have the same name, they do mean slightly different things. Okay? Acceleration, as we probably covered in class, is the rate of change of the velocity. But like I said, they're both measured with lowercase letter a's and can be a vector or a scalar. So, good job and see you in class.